Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Listicle, where we do everything card making. And today we're going to do a window card in a card. You can consider this a trifold card if you want, I guess. But generally, like, a trifold card would be, the same size both in and out. So I'm calling this a card in a card. But we're starting off with a 4¼ by 5½ inch card base, which was the white one. This blue one, I think I cut down to 5 by 3¾ so that it's a ½ inch smaller than the card base itself. This will go on the inside and will be seen through the window that we cut through on the front of the card afterwards. But I wanted to use this as like the sky backdrop, so I'm using a stamp set from MFT with Snowfall on it. So if it's still available, I'll link it below. If not, I'll try to link something similar. But I just made sure that I was using it in the correct direction because this card will be opening left to right instead of right to left. And this background stamp has a clear direction, like it's more concentrated at the top than it is at the bottom, so I wanted to keep it that way. You could do it the opposite way if you wanted to make it look like more snow is concentrated towards the ground, but I usually do it more concentrated at the top and then it like fades down into the lesser snowflakes at the bottom. And I just use my Lawn Fawn clear embossing ink and some, I think it's Recollections white detail embossing powder. There's a big jar of it at Michael's that I grabbed because the other one that I had previously wasn't as fine detail, and I find this one's much better and more white than the last one I had. So I'm just gonna try to flatten it a bit because I did heat set it. It does kind of like warp the cardstock a bit, so I'm just trying to somewhat flatten it through my manual cutting machine. This is my Cuttlebug. They don't sell these anymore. It's super cute though. It looks like a little purse when it folds up. And I love this, and I will love it until it's dead, and then I might invest in one of those fancy electronic ones, but until this one gives up the ghost, this one stays. It works, so I use it. And I use it with the scrapbook.com magic mats now. Those things work great. I should probably switch to a different one because this one's been used quite a bit, but I'll do that soon probably. So as usual, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Sometimes you get like really excited about the project and then you skip steps along the way. Originally, I had planned that I was going to ink blend this panel at the top just to give it a bit more dimension. I'm going to go back and do it later. It's a bit of a struggle to do it later, so it's easier to do it now. So ensure that you definitely like ink blend your panel if you want to add more dimension to it before gluing it inside of the card. It will save you a lot of hassle. And right now I'm just going to stamp and color the Simply Santa, I think it's called. Again, everything will be linked in the description down below. This is a set that came free with a purchase from Lawn Fawn last year. I'm not sure if they have it up on their website now. If they do, I'll link it. If not, sorry if you missed out, but this is such a cute set. And I'll just play music until I'm done coloring and cutting out, and then I will come back. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just going to cut this off of the rest of this card panel, and then I'm going to use this, was my original plan, to use it on the inside of the card, because I am going to put acetate in this window. I was kind of like on the fence about it, but it does add stability to the front of the card because you're taking out that stability when you cut out this piece. And I am going to use a trick that I learned from my friend Kate over at Kate Crafts, and I'm going to trace the inside of this die just so that I can place it on the panel. The only problem is that when I do this, the panel ended up a little bit wonky on here, and I ended up trying to straighten it out, and then it got a little bit smaller. So I'll go back and do it again, but then I've skipped through the cutting process, which I took these over to my brother's Scan-A-Cut and cut them out. And now I'm cutting the acetate sheet. I cut it slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just so that it will fit in the panel. I probably could have cut it a lot smaller, like closer to the arch, and then that first insert that I cut out would have been fine, but it was like exposing some of the acetate once I trimmed it off. So this is me reworking that panel. So I just cut it out of a bigger panel, and then I was like, okay, I'll just cut this panel down. And I'm just kind of like marking with a pencil, like this is the bottom of the card, and then I bring it back, and then this is like the side, just to make sure that I'm laying it out correctly. And this worked a little bit better for me. It's a little bit more wasteful of paper, so we'll try again with the other method next time, but you still do have to trim a little bit on the inside edge just to help your card fold a little bit easier. And then it is a little bit shorter at the top there, but it didn't bother me that much, so I just left it. These Fisker scissors, by the way, are from Dollarama, so if you're in Canada, go check out the Crafty aisle. They were only like $5, and they're the spring assist ones, and they're really sharp. They actually work really well, and I've been using them quite a bit lately for a little bit of fussy cutting. So again, if you're in Canada, go check out the dollar store at Dollarama and see if you can find them yourself, because $5 is like a steal for a pair of scissors. So now that the card is assembled, I'm going to glue on my images at the front. I just did the Santa with the reindeer and 2 speech bubbles. One says ho ho ho, the other one says Merry Christmas. You can cut out 2 of each of these if the inside's going to bother you, but my markers didn't bleed through too much because I used lighter colors this time around. Usually I color reindeer a bit darker than this, but they were pretty cute in lighter color, so I might do this a little bit more often. It just helps bring out their features and makes them less dark, and it's pretty cute. So here I am trying to mask off the inside of the card just so I don't get any blue on the white, which, you know, mostly worked. I did get a little bit on it, and I did have to use my sand eraser, but this is why I suggest doing it before. This works as well, it's just a little bit more risky. But I definitely wanted that added depth, so I did end up doing this afterwards because I thought it was important. I could have left it, but it just makes it so much better. Anyway, that's pretty much our card for today, guys. Thanks again for joining me. Again, this whole month will be Christmas cards, so I have 10 videos for you this month, so be prepared for lots of inspiration. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe because I'd love to have you. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.